Hey folks, it's Rob from Rob's Movie Collection, and continuing my series of a movie for every year of my life, up to 1968. And for that one I have chosen Hang 'em High with Clint Eastwood. Now, I actually have the video of Hang 'em High somewhere in my collection in a box somewhere. It's one of those things that's kind of hidden away somewhere. I couldn't get it. Couldn't find it right now, but as I was shopping the other day, I came across this Clint Eastwood collection. It's got the Man with No Name, Fistful of Dollars, for a few dollars more, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and Hang 'em High. So I figured, well, I should just get this because I wanted to get this anyway, and since I'm doing this, perfect timing. So it's got the whole thing right here, and of course we got Hang 'em High right there. Now, Hang 'em High from 1968, directed by Ted Post, and starring, of course, Clint Eastwood. He stars as a guy named Jed Cooper. He actually does have a name in this one. He had just finished the Man with No Name movies, and I guess he was promoting them around and stuff, and decided to do this one. But in this one, he actually does have a name, Jed Cooper. He's this guy who's a former lawman who's herding some cattle, and then he's found by a bunch of guys that accuse him of a rancher's murder. Now, it turns out that the guy that he bought them from actually murdered the rancher and pretended to be him when he sold him to Clint's character, and of course Clint didn't know this. But the vigilantes don't care, and they just lynch him and leave him for dead. Now, fortunately for him, Ben Johnson, the great Ben Johnson, comes along and finds him before he's fully hanged and killed, and cuts him down and decides to take him in. And he figures if he's innocent, he'll takes him to the judge, and if he's innocent, he'll go free, and if he's not, he'll be hanged anyway. Well, so he takes him over to Pat Hingle, the judge, who determines that he is in fact innocent, and then warns him not to go out and seek revenge. He's lucky he has a name and he's not wearing a long coat. But in order to kind of help him out in that respect, knowing that he's a former lawman himself, he offers him a badge, makes him a deputy marshal, and gives him the bounty on most of these guys, and goes out and to capture them. Of course, some of them don't make it, but for the most part, he tracks them down. Now, Hang 'em High also co-stars Inger Stevens, because there's always a love interest in these movies. Kind of rough at times, actually, the way they get together. Also co-starring Ed Begley, Junior's father, Pat Hingle as the judge, a young Bruce Dern, and a young Dennis Hopper, and Alan Hale Jr. Yeah, the skipper from Gilligan's Island. That was weird when I first saw it, to see the skipper, helping to hang Clint Eastwood. Well, although he is one of the guys that kind of wants to, you almost get the feeling, that he hesitates a bit, and he wants to make sure that it's him and give him a chance that it's not him. So he's not a completely bad guy. But yeah, it was odd to see him there. But anyway, so Clint goes on and tries to capture these guys. The best scene in the film for me is the famous scene where he gets to this town and he spots his own saddle on this horse in front of the saloon, and then goes into the saloon and sees the guy there, and delivers a very, very Clint, badass Clint line and sequence.
When you hang a man, you better look at him. Don't go for that gun, Reno. I need you alive.
But yeah, that's just a great scene. I love that scene. I always remember that scene the most. I'm sure a lot of people remember that scene the most from this movie. A great film. One of Clint's best. He's got a nice little repertoire of westerns, of course, in his repertoire, and this is one of the best ones, along with of course the No Name, Guy with No Name, Man with No Name, Guy with No Name, Man with No Name movies, Sergio Leone, and the outlaw Josie Wales, and then later Pale Rider, and of course at the end Unforgiven. Very good movie, very great Western. It always seems like there's two types of Westerns. You've got the John Wayne Westerns and the Clint Eastwood Westerns, you know. And there's a movie called Rustler's Rhapsody, a comedy, where they kind of poked a little fun at this, and you had the guys that were from the John Wayne type of Westerns with certain outfits, and the Clint Eastwood Westerns with the long coats, but of course in this one it's not really long coats. It's more actually like the John Wayne ones in terms of how they dress and all that stuff. But still, it's always interesting to see the difference between the two. Maybe it's a squint, I don't know. But so yeah, check it out, Hang 'em High. It's it's been around for a while. I'm sure most of you know about it and probably even have it in your collection. But it is definitely one of the best. And that is my movie for 1968, my life. We're coming in on the 70s here, so one more from the 60s left, and then we can go into the 70s. Okay, so check out Hang 'em High. If you haven't somehow seen it, definitely check it out. It's one of his best. Alright, so I will see you guys next time. Bye.